Welcome back, sports fans, to Slaughterhouse Wrestling. We are broadcasting live here in Liberal, Kansas from the Marfig Arena in front of a Sorry, I had a slight technical difficulty there, but welcome back, sports fans. Like I said, we are broadcasting live from Liberal, Kansas at the Marfig Arena. I am here with my broadcast partner, Bobson Dugnut, as always, bringing you live Slaughterhouse Wrestling here on iPay-Per-View, out on twitch.tv, twitch.com. Do not remember the URL offhand. We are here with Slaughterhouse 3, Sky's the Limit. We have seen action for weeks, for months. We have seen Damon Sky climb up from the bottom rung of Slaughterhouse Wrestling all the way to the top, and he is finally going to challenge Walnut for the Slaughterhouse Wrestling title. Bobson, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good. Walter doing pretty good. About ready to see this belt pass hands to anybody else in Slaughterhouse Wrestling besides Walnut. The man is a literal insane person, and it is about time we get it on a legitimate wrestler who can do it justice, you know?
I could not agree with you more, Bobson. We have seen Walnut run roughshod over the best that Slaughterhouse has to offer, even running the Chicago Cowboy out of the promotion completely. I am excited to see if Damon has what it takes to chop down Walnut, to crack Walnut, if you will.
Yeah, you said that. You said about all you can say about it, Walter. You know, and tonight we get to start out with some really fun matches. These fresh meat matches. We got some new guys joining Slaughterhouse Wrestling, and I got to tell you, I can't wait to see them wrestle.
Same here, Bobson. In our first fresh meat match of the night, we're going to see Mandy Hamilton take on Maniac. Maniac being the newest member of the Birds of War, a stable that is kind of taking Slaughterhouse by storm these days. Mandy Hamilton, haven't been able to talk to them much lately, but you know what? I think this match is going to be great to start things off with.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you there. Maniac is coming in, joining a faction that is kind of known for their aggressiveness and their, you know, I don't know if I could even say underhanded tactics. I mean, the referee watched, you know, the trash man literally pull a sickle out of his unitard last week, but we'll get to him in a minute. But Maniac has got a bit of a reputation to kind of live up to, and hopefully he can keep it clean in the ring, as Mandy has kind of got their work cut out for him tonight. So I can't wait for this one myself, and it is also both of our fresh meat matches are both no disqualifications tonight.
Of course, something I forgot to mention. This is something that Commissioner Lewis has been cooking up for a good minute now here in the Slaughterhouse. You know, we want to get that fresh meat in, we want to get that fresh blood, and we want to let them prove themselves as much as possible with no limits. So they are going to go out there in a no DQ match and try to get a win on the board, try to get in the top 5 rankings, and try to earn themselves a title shot. And you said the first of our fresh meat matches, well, our second one is, again, the fresh meat match is between 2 debuts, and we have Vader taking on Lavernius Bimpson. Again, 2 people that I have not talked too much backstage, but have impressed me on the independent circuit. I've seen the footage, I've seen the tapes, and both of these guys, I believe, do not have a stable right now. And you gotta think that the you might want to correct me there if I'm wrong, Bobson.
Yeah, it does look like Lavernius is a new member of the Exotic Husbands, actually. A faction that hasn't really grown. They're an initial faction. They've been here for a long while, and it's nice to see them kind of get some fresh blood in there. Vader, from what I'm hearing, a lot of the guys in the back, they have not enjoyed having him around. He kind of reminds them of a little bit of an Orville Neal Demented One situation, so hopefully, he'll bring a little bit of a less of a spooky vibe, to the back locker room. But Lavernius, I gotta say, used to be Wallace, now he's Lavernius. I'm a big fan of that change, and I can't wait to see what he can do out there in the ring tonight, especially in a no disqualification match.
Couldn't agree with you more there, Bobson. I think these 2 guys are going to take each other to the limit. And my point about mentioning the factions was that, you got to wonder when these guys debut in these kind of fresh meat matches, if those stable leaders backstage, the Dong Michaels, the Big Money Martys of the world, are going to look at these guys and think if they are going to be a good addition to their stables, win or loss. So this is just a huge opportunity for 2 new wrestlers to go out and prove themselves.
Yeah, you got that right, Walter. And in the next match of the evening, we have the Governor, one of our newer members of Slaughterhouse Wrestling, taking on Jabroni, who impressed in his first match in Slaughterhouse Wrestling last week. Birds of War started off pretty hot last week, going 2-0 in both of their initial matches. So it's going to be interesting to see a new guy like the Governor, who has quite the backstory, if you ask me. He's had a bit of a rough life up to this point, so hopefully Slaughterhouse Wrestling can help him turn it around, but he's going to have his work cut out for him taking on Jabroni in his first official match.
It's going to be one to watch for sure. Jabroni really impressed me personally last week at Slaughterhouse Wrestling 2, and he was not someone who I personally thought, trying to be unbiased here, personally thought was going to be one to watch. But throughout that match, his tenacity, his hard hits, his charisma, his style really won me over, and I think a lot of the Slaughterhouse universe might agree with me there.
Yeah, you have got that right, Walter. You have got that right.
And you mentioned Orville Neal earlier. We will actually be seeing Orville Neal in action taking on the Bankrollers Don't Go Jason Waterfalls. This match was built up after a lot of trash talking from Jason. You would think with some of the recent events that have happened to the Bankrollers, they would be shutting up. They would be trying to put their money where their mouth is, or their mouth where their money is. But they're still out here. They are still begging people for matches. They are still giving it their all on the mic. And Orville Neal is going to step up and try to continue his win streak from last week.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they can do. The Bankrollers have done a lot of talking. We talk about this every single pay-per-view. This is our third one now here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. And since the beginning, before the first official match, the Bankrollers have done nothing but run their mouth and write checks. And now, it's kind of interesting to see that this is their only match tonight. The Bankrollers are not present in any other match this evening. So you got to think maybe they're hoping to kind of turn things around by getting a match in with Orville Neal. And I've heard firsthand from Don't Go Jason before he rudely kicked me in the groin earlier. He said that he's been spending a lot of time in the gym, in the ring, kind of trying to rework his style so he can bring something Orville Neal maybe hasn't seen before. Now, Orville Neal, don't forget, he did wrestle overseas, so he's probably seen a lot of interesting things in his wrestling career so far.
Of course, Bobson, but you also have to remember that Jason Waterfalls is going into this match a little hurt. Last week at Slaughterhouse 2, Supreme put him down for the count with one of the hardest slams I have seen in my life. we had to get medical staff outside. We had to get people down to the ring. He had to be escorted out on somebody's shoulders. And he is back for more, which, says a lot about him, says a lot about his mind state going into Slaughterhouse 3 here. But it is going to have to be something he is mindful of.
Yeah, you have got that right, Walter. In our next match of the evening, we have a 3-man tornado tag match between Supreme and Behold a Dark Horse. Two factions that have kind of been making their presence known here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Supreme, obviously, holding on to those tag team titles are, correct me if I'm wrong, but it is it Mello and Zeus, I believe, that hold the titles?
Yes, it is Mello and Zeus.
Mello and Zeus, and they have Victor, who has been fantastic in his singles match. He could be somebody that could be an eventual potential championship holder here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling himself. But Behold a Dark Horse has been on a bit of a run of sorts. STO's had those fantastic matches with Orville Neal, and Black Snow himself has been wrestling with the Bankrollers, and as recently as last week, kind of going on his own again and seeing what he can do. But they also joined by Nightmare, who is the newest member of Behold a Dark Horse. So I'm kind of interested to see how this one's going to play out tonight.
I definitely agree with you there, but you have to remember something. Behold a Dark Horse has been on a run for a while, but the finals of the tag team title tournament were Behold a Dark Horse and Supreme, if I'm remembering right, where Supreme got the victory. Last week, Black Snow tried to take on Victor Hill, came up short. Every time Behold a Dark Horse gets on a run, they have their feet cut out from under them by Supreme. And you've got to wonder, STO giving his brother a call, pulling him up from the indies. Nightmare's been wrestling for a few years now, if my notes are correct, but we don't know that much about him. He hasn't been able to prove himself on a bigger stage. But STO, panicking, might have just pulled him up, just looking for some sort of an edge he can get over Supreme. And maybe that's what it takes. Maybe that's what it's finally going to take for Behold a Dark Horse to get their win over Supreme. Time will tell.
Yeah, you got that right, Walter. And then in a rematch that I'm not sure we really want to see again, we have Thomas Noble taking on Frank the Trash Man Reynolds. We watched them last pay-per-view.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, I actually had to give an account to the police as a character witness. I was in the back, just kind of, we were hanging out last week, just enjoying a brewski in the back, and I didn't know what to do. I was on the phone with Commissioner Lewis. I couldn't believe what we were watching in the ring as the Trash Man pulled a sickle out of his unitard and used it to try and scalp Thomas Noble while the ref watched it happen. What is going to happen in that ring tonight?
Well, if the ref pats you down and doesn't find a weapon, that is now a part of your person. You can use anything on your person in a wrestling match. Sadly, those are the rules here at Slaughterhouse Wrestling. And, I know Earl Dipshit personally, God love him. I don't think he's going to pay that much more attention tonight. Maybe Thomas Noble will threaten him into paying a little more attention. Maybe some of the backlash from the fans in the arena might have got his attention, but I have to question Thomas's judgment here, asking for another match with Frank. But I do understand the logic. It was Thomas Noble's big debut after being, I may be misquoting his accolades here, but 3-time Heisman winner, 4-time national champion in football, and 3-time UFC middleweight champion. After all of those accolades, getting beat by a man in a one-strap unitard with a sickle, and that does flips off your chest. I kind of understand why you want to get back in the ring and really show them what you're all about.
It's pretty damn disheartening. I will say that much. I think Thomas Noble came out here with a lot of hype, a lot of heat, and he came out there, and I don't even think we could call that a wrestling match that we witnessed last week. I'm not sure a back alley brawl that happened in front of all 40 of the fans out there that time. I'm not too sure what we could call it.
I think we would call it a mugging, honestly, if Thomas had brought his wallet to the ring. I think Frank would have just took it and ran, and we would have never seen him again. But, that match is going to be what it is, and I'm excited to see it, and I'm not excited to see it all at the same time. But I'll tell you what I am excited to see. We are finally getting the rubber match between the Gay Space Cowboys and the Exotic Husbands. These two teams have been going at it for weeks. Every single Slaughterhouse show, we have been opening with those two teams going at it in 30-minute matches, going back and forth. hitting each other with the most insane moves I've ever seen in my life. Truly a spectacle of acrobatics, athleticism, and pro wrestling prowess. And Commissioner Lewis finally decided to put some stakes on it. We must have a winner. We must have someone who will get the edge over the other person, and they will be awarded a title shot at Supreme at the next show. And Bobson, I got to tell you, this is going to be my match of the night. I'm already declaring it my match of the night. This is going to be so amazing.
Yeah, and it's easy to see why. These four men have had such great chemistry in the ring since we have started Slaughterhouse Wrestling, putting on some of the most amazing matches. That 30-minute match that we saw at Slaughterhouse 1, Walnut's Wedding, they had a pretty good match, almost 30 minutes, ended up in a ring out, can't blame them for that. But, they put on these fantastic matches, both teams, and it's kind of hard to even think about who could come out on top of this one, but this is the one where everything is on the line. The winner will go on to face Supreme at the next pay-per-view for the tag team titles. The Supreme have been holding on with a pretty good grip so far here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, so I gotta tell you, I gotta agree with you. I couldn't agree with you more. This is gonna be the match of the night.
And finally, that brings us to our main event. Will Damon Sky crack Walnut? Will someone finally be able to take Walnut down, take that title off of him? We've seen the videos from Damon Sky about how much this title means to him, about how much wrestling means to him, and God bless him. I just hope to God he knows what he's up against tonight.
Yeah, he's had to have seen these last few matches we've seen from Walnut. I mean, in the first Slaughterhouse pay-per-view, we watched him take on the Chicago Cowboy, taking out in under 8 minutes. This man also fought 2 women here at Walnut's Wedding, the affectionately named Walnut's Wedding. He took on 2 women and got beat to stay in Slaughterhouse Wrestling and keep that title on his waist. So I'm not too sure at this point what can be done to take him out. Maybe a triple threat match, maybe a handicap match, but Damon Sky has one of the best opportunities I think we've seen so far in Slaughterhouse Wrestling for Walnut to potentially lose this title. This man is all talent. I can't wait to see how many neutralizers he tries to hit on Walnut, but if he hits that horrifying laugh, it is over for Damon Sky. I think the match is over at that point. So you got to think, Damon, you got to start early and you got to start often. You got to injure this man.
100% agree with you there, Bobson. But that is your card for the night. That is Slaughterhouse 3, Sky's the Limit. And it looks like our competitors are finally getting ready in the ring. So we're going to take it down to Earl Dipshit and kick things off.
And I gotta tell you, Walter, we got a pretty good crowd here tonight. Max capacity 500. Looks like we're kicking around 410, 415. I've been counting pretty often.
You've been counting all these people just like this whole time?
I have been, actually. That's why I'm not too aware of what's been going on so far. Okay, this is the first match. I gotcha. Yeah, so looks like Mandy Hamilton's got a nice matching pink top and bottom. You gotta think Maniac's gonna bring some charisma to the crowd. Well, I guess just the simple trunks and boots, work out as well.
That's all you need when you're someone like Maniac. I don't know if you've seen Maniac's work on the independent circuit at all. But
is it Maniac or is it Maniac? I want to make sure we're pronouncing his name right.
I've been saying Maniac, but it could be Maniac, and I could be very culturally insensitive to the way I'm pronouncing it. You're totally right about that. But I was going to say he is a brawler. He is someone very technically minded, doesn't mind getting his hands dirty however he needs to. And with someone like him, you don't need a lot of flash sometimes. You just need yourself.
Yeah, and Maniac's had a lot of practice. It sounds like the Birds of War have been kind of prepping him for his first match here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, and Mandy's really going to bring it to him, kind of getting started with this offense early on.
Gotta say, I'm liking Mandy's shoes a lot. I know that's not normally the kind of thing I commentate on, but this is a good color.
Yeah, I do like the color combination. These two wrestlers are bringing a lot of really fun colors in here to this ring. This the black ring, matched against those green and black shoes, looking pretty nice.
Going off to start, these two just trying to overpower each other. Maniac going for the eyes and the quick roll up. You gotta think Maniac wants this one to end early. I think he's giving up some height and weight to Mandy here, and you got to wonder if that's going to be a factor.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to see it play out that way. I mean, we've seen smaller people beat bigger people. We watched Trash Man last week, and Trash Man, once again, in the Birds of War faction with Maniac. But Mandy has done a great job of kind of turning this match on its head and providing some nice strikes and blows to Maniac's face, and those aren't going to heal anytime soon.
Mandy favoring that arm drag, trying to ground Maniac, get him off of his feet so he cannot do that eye rake. I think that is the third one I've seen so far. I'm getting a little worried about Mandy's ocular health here. As these two are exchanging strikes in the ring. They know what the stakes are. This is our first fresh meat match that we've ever had. One of the very few no DQ matches we've had in Slaughterhouse's history. And you've got to think that they know this is their time to really make an impact.
Yeah, you got that right. You got that right, Walter. And both of these wrestlers want to kind of get started on the right foot. Maniac really wants to show the Birds of War they can keep it going. They can keep this momentum going. Just kind of take the Slaughterhouse by storm. And Mandy, just wants to prove themselves and see what they can do here. Mandy is still unsigned, does not have a faction.
It looks like Maniac trying to target the head a little bit with that stomp to the face, those eye rakes. A little bit of body work too. Oh, going for the Fujiwara armbar. I guess I stand corrected. Trying to go for a holistic body approach here. Mandy with the huge fireman's carry slam going up top for an elbow drop. Already 5 minutes into this match, hitting some big moves. This is the kind of strategy you take when you know you're presented with an opportunity and you do not want to whiff it.
Yeah, and I think Mandy has seen the footage of these Birds of War matches from the last pay-per-view, and I think they really want to kind of get going on the right foot. 2 count this early on the Maniac. Mandy has been nothing but offense.
Big running bulldog from Mandy to Maniac. Does not get a count, a little too close to the ropes. It looks like Mandy doesn't have the best ring awareness in the world during this match. Sometimes you don't need to if you can just hit him hard enough.
And it looks like I'm actually hearing from Commissioner Lewis backstage. He is saying some very terrible things to me over the headset, but it appears that Mandy's actually in the Exotic Husbands. So this faction has gotten bigger, and they've added a bit of muscle to it.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. Exotic Husbands lost a couple of members between the tournaments and Slaughterhouse starting proper. So it makes sense that Dong Michaels, Walnut, and Dank Boopstay would be trying to bolster their ranks with some new blood. And I'm excited to see it pay off, hopefully.
And we really haven't seen anything in this match so far that would kind of designate this no DQ stipulation. We haven't seen any chairs. And, if you're going to be a wrestler in Slaughterhouse, we need to see some chairs. That is one of the, signifying things you're watching Slaughterhouse wrestling is some chairs being thrown in the ring.
We didn't see any chairs, but that was a huge cutter and DDT combination from Mandy to Maniac. Sometimes you just don't need chairs if you can just slam their head into the mat that hard and get almost a 3 count for your
Almost a 3 count, Walter. This is 9 minutes. This is some Walnut level of wrestling here by Mandy so far.
This could be one of our shorter matches. But it looks like Maniac trying to work the head of Mandy with those headlock submission moves, the punches to the face, the elbows to the face, just trying to wear Mandy down a little bit, and those big chops to the chest. That's the kind of thing that Maniac is known for, those hard strikes. And I'm not sure that Mandy prepared well enough for them.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. Mandy's doing a great job of kind of going at Maniac, getting that offense going, but Maniac has been very singular in his focus in this ring. He is going for Mandy's head as often as he possibly can.
And it looks like Maniac be playing the long game here. It looks like Mandy getting a little winded in the ring, and Maniac being able to take advantage of that with those headlock submissions. You might not get the win, but you are going to wear your opponent down with those.
Yeah, you got that right. And Maniac has kind of turned this match around. Mandy kind of had a bit of the momentum going early on, but Maniac has kind of turned it around.
Well, that's what Maniac is known for. It's all about the long game. He suckers you in early and then does you dirty in the late game. But we saw some stereo drop kicks there, both of them down. I'm sorry, Bobson, I think I just talked over you.
No, I was just going to say it was really fun to see the drop kicks traded back and forth.
And another, I think that may have been the first back suplex from um, Maniac here, and going right back to that headlock into a drop toe hold situation. A little bit more lucha than I was expecting from Maniac there, but you know what?
Clearly a bird of war, I will say that much, Walter.
But again, it's that opportunity. You have to bust out the moves like that. And here we go, the figure 4 leg lock. Maniac does not have kids. He is fighting for himself. I talked to him backstage. He's living in his car right now, and this is going to be his biggest shot at making money and hitting the big time.
Well, I got to tell you, joining the Birds of War is a great way to start your career in Slaughterhouse. As of right now, they have been one of the hotter factions in Slaughterhouse Wrestling since they joined.
Ooh, big pile driver from Maniac there. And an arm drag for his troubles, busting out a little more of the lucha there. I couldn't agree more. Birds of War has been one of the factions to watch, in my opinion. They weren't around for the first couple tournaments, but ever since then, they've really been impressing me. And we've seen some big pinfalls traded back and forth there. This might be a short one, Bobson.
It really does look like it. Both of them, I mean, the referee, those could have been 3 counts on either of them, and Mandy's going to take the Maniac again for a pin.
Going to get it with the pin. We are seeing Mandy Hamilton win the first ever fresh meat match with a big win over Maniac.
Yeah, and this has got to be great. This is the first official loss for the Birds of War. You got to hope that Maniac's not going to take it too hard. Maybe go back to the gym, not get hit with the sickle from Trash Man. But he did everything he could. He provided as much offense as possible. But Mandy really just came out on top. Just was consistent with their offense and really was pretty adamant about getting those pins in early and often.
Of course, and I thought the long game was going to favor Maniac there, but that Fireman's Carry slam, the Fireman's Carry buster, whatever you want to call it, really was their lethal weapon to getting this match finished. And, maybe that might be a sign of things to come. Maybe the husbands are going to have a good night tonight. Well, we will see.
Yeah, they've got one of the more interesting matches of the evening. We talked about it before, and I'm pretty excited for it. But before we get to that, we have Vader versus Bimpson, 2 of our newer wrestlers, another fresh meat match, no DQ. And I really hope we can see some more of that no DQ action. We really didn't get in the first match, even though that was a pretty good match first time around. I'd like to see some chair shots. I'd like to see some, outside of the ring action.
Definitely agree with you there, Bobson. The Lavernius Bimpson is an exotic husband, correct? I think I got that wrong in the pre-show.
Yes.
But, this may be another opportunity for them to continue this win streak they're going to have the entire night. Because, you want to keep that momentum going for your title match, Walnut versus Damon Sky. But yeah, like you said, kind of hoping this is a little more no DQ, kind of hoping we see a little more action on the outside, see these competitors really go for it. But turning to the ring now, it looks like they are about ready to start.
Yeah, pretty excited. These fresh meat matches are pretty good for the league, honestly. Having these new guys come in and show their stuff. And look at this man coming down the ramp. Vader is quite the specimen.
I see why you said the other wrestlers backstage in the locker room weren't really a big fan of this guy. He is a sight to behold, Bobson.
Yeah, you have got that right. Oh, and he is cutting the throat. He has got some information he would like to let Bimpson know. And on the other side of things, Bimpson is coming out a little underwhelming, I will say. I love the unitard, love the color, but after Vader walking down that ramp, Bimpson has really not impressed as much as far as the physical aspects.
Well, hey, I would not underestimate Lavernius Bimpson. Aside from being a pretty accomplished amateur wrestler, at least in the style that I've seen on the indies, very technical, very fast-paced, he is just fucking insane, Bobson. Just a loon, just a nut. And those two things combined in a no DQ situation, this could go all sorts of ways.
Yeah, this is the second match of the night for a new exotic husband. Both of the first 2 matches of the evening are going to be fresh meat matches, and they both feature an exotic husband, so he'd like to show off just as well as Mandy did in that first match.
And we're seeing a lot of strikes early on here. These 2 men just trying to, no pun intended here, size each other up, maybe feel each other out a little bit, just see where they're coming from with some basic strikes. Ooh, but a huge body slam from Vader to the stomp to the gut. You know, you said Lavernius was not very physically impressive. You might be right. You know, I've been a fan of this guy on the independent circuit for a while and his technical style, but I don't know that he's ever fought anyone quite like Vader.
Yeah, you've got that right, but he's kind of holding his own early on as he getting some nice flips in there on him, but Vader, just when he gets his hands on Bimson, he is going to make it count.
Ooh, snap suplex there from Lavernius. That is the kind of quick amateur wrestling style that I was talking about. Showing it on display here, but getting some of those strikes to the chest almost for his trouble. Aiming a little high there, buddy, but hey, it looks like it's effective.
Yeah, and I get what you're saying about Bimson. He is a pretty quick... Oh, outside.
Oh, here we go. Lavernius wants to keep it in the ring. I guess that might be a strategy in this, you know, going with what he knows, trying to stay on the mat and keep Vader a little more grounded.
Yeah, it's a good strategy by him. I mean, I wouldn't want Vader in open space with the potential of having some weapons in his hand.
I have never seen a wrestler like Vader do a Fujiwara armbar. That was fucking wild. But a nice half and half suplex there from Lavernius. Sorry, I'm swearing a little more on this one, folks. We are in liberal Kansas. I feel like I have a little more right to kind of do what I want on commentary here, but we were seeing some suplexes. We saw a half and half, another nice snap suplex there, shooting Lavernius off to the ropes, and Vader not really giving Lavernius much to work with here, just trying to center him and strike him down, cut him down a little bit. I gotta wonder if he watched some tapes of Lavernius ahead of time and was foreseeing this strategy.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, as he's trying to keep him in the center of the ring, keep him away from the ropes, keep him away from the turnbuckles. Don't let him get outside of the ring. Keep it in the middle where he can just beat the ever-living hell out of this small man, but Bimson is providing a good bit of offense himself.
Huge lariat in the corner there. Those corners have really seen a lot of action happen in this match. They're just trying to keep each other, you know, kind of propped up against something and just able to beat each other up. Huge belly to belly.
God.
Lavernius taking an opportunity to showboat. Oh, finally. Hey, Bobson, it's what you wanted.
Yeah, we finally got some chairs as he's going to try to swing and just swing and a miss. That is strike one for Vader tonight. I'm surprised Vader can even get up after that. Bimson threw him over the turnbuckle outside of the ring. I don't know how he didn't miss the stairs on that one.
And Bimson just striking him down now. This is breaking out into almost a street fight. Ooh, the saber. The finishing move of Vader. He grabs the chair, opts not to go for the pin. More shots to the pecs. Oh no, it might be Lavernius here.
Might be it. Kick out at 2. Wow, the referee did not get past 2 on that one. Barely got to 2. Bimson has got a little bit of underdog vibe to him.
Almost a 3 count off of what I think was a suplex reversal. A little hard to tell from our vantage point here. Going for the ankle lock, one of the holds Lavernius is known for. Applying it with absolute expertise. Not enough to get Vader to tap out, though. I think it's going to take a lot to get Vader to tap out. But, oh, he's going for the saber again. Running the ropes and hitting the elbow drop.
And this might be it here. This might be it, Walter.
Not quite a 3. Vader going for the throat, as it were.
If Bimson loses this one, you know, nobody can say he doesn't have heart. Come out in this ring and fight a man of his stature. I've seen some pretty great offense by Bimson, but it just seems like Vader has got the upper hand on him tonight.
Oh, out of the ring again, Bobson.
Well, dear God, Walter, is he okay? I know he's right in front of you there. I mean, are you gonna check on him, or okay? I guess he's gonna go on back in. And
I was about to ask him, but he snapped out of his daze pretty fast. Thank God. I didn't want another one of those situations on our hands.
And he gets the 3 count on Bimson.
Did you see what move finished him? Was it just like a punch?
It seems like it. I think after taking that much damage, I think it wasn't going to really take much to kind of keep him down. But, if I was Bimson, I wouldn't feel too bad about the outcome. He came out there and he fought as hard as he could, but...
Folks, I'm getting word that it was actually a knee drop to the neck that took out Lavernius. I guess I was distracted for a second, but yeah, Lavernius gave a lot of offense, slamming Vader outside of the ring twice, but I guess couldn't string enough together to make up for all that punishment that he was taking. Those two big choke slams, that saber that Vader is known for, those huge shots all over his body, it's enough to take anybody down.
Yeah, you have got that right, and it was pretty good 2 matches for our first, fresh meat matches, no DQ. We actually got to see some fun chair action there. Didn't really get to see it used as much, but I don't think Bimson's got to feel too bad. The Exotic Husbands definitely have a nice training regimen that they put all their guys on. Maybe they can get them on whatever they've got Walnut on. Maybe he'll shoot up a foot and, be made of tree, just like Walnut is every week.
Would be a sight to see. But speaking of big debuts, we are going to see the debut of the Governor in this match, not assigned a faction as of now. I've heard he's looking, actually, so any of you faction leaders back there who may be watching the iPay-per-view feed, take note of this guy. Tell me what you think after the show, but he will be taking on Jabroni of the Birds of War, someone who, like I said last week, really impressed me, and I have been looking forward to this match since Commissioner Lewis announced it last night.
Yeah, you got that right. And Governor is one of the people who was not chosen for a fresh meat match, and he is actually going to fight an established wrestler here tonight. So he's got to really take advantage of this situation, hopefully move himself up our wrestler rankings. So, and it looks like both of these guys are ready backstage to come on out. So let's see what they've got for us tonight.
Governor just sauntering his way to the ring, really looking like he just doesn't care. He's just here to kick some ass, take some names, and go home.
It looks like it. It doesn't look like there's going to be any glitz or glamour in his wrestling style, as opposed to Jabroni, who we're about to see come down the ring. Looks like the Governor is just all muss, no fuss. Let's just beat the hell out of this guy and be done. And here comes Jabroni, who has got his own style, clearly.
Tons of flash, tons of sizzle. Just a guy who wants to get out there. And I don't really like using this description for wrestlers who are out here having, they're trained combat athletes fighting each other hand to hand. But he's a guy who likes to have fun.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. And nothing is more fun than winning. And the Birds of War would know about that. As at last week they went 2-0, so Jabroni won his match and his initial match here against Lucifer, who is kind of well known for being quite a brawler.
But currently tonight they're down 0-1, excuse me. Having Maniac lose his debut match. So, there's a little bit more pressure on Jabroni this time. We might see a slightly more serious side of him
here. Yeah, hopefully so, but I hope he doesn't lose any of that fun-loving charisma, he has in the ring, because that's really what kind of wins these matches for the Birds of War. Because the Governor, he's not going to play around tonight. He's gonna try to beat the hell out of this man.
Definitely agree with you there, Bobson. Seeing some hard strikes to start this off. Just some huge shots to the head, open and closed hand. And now Jabroni is wrenching that arm, maybe trying to work on a strategy there. We'll see as the match unfolds.
Looks like he just got tired of those strikes he was getting and, just thought, well, let's go ahead and take him right out, because that's that right arm that Governor has been favoring tonight.
Ooh, a rake to the eyes as well. Jabroni just trying to get it done however possible, but he is getting receipt after receipt from the Governor. Huge strikes coming off the ropes. Ooh, kitchen sink to the gut there. Kick to the face for his efforts. These guys are going all out from the gate.
He's going to get him up and out of the ring, the Governor, and then the middle finger to Jabroni outside the ring.
Giving him the 2-finger victory salute. This is not a no DQ match, folks. You can see that Earl Dipshit is counting. Just to remind the fans at home, the Governor would have had, I believe, a 5 count to let go of the chair. But luckily he did, and Jabroni now taking control with some shots to the head. Ducked down, shooting off, and just running into him. I don't really know what the strategy was there, but hey, it might be effective.
Yeah, you know what? I've learned at this point not to really question anything the Birds of War do in the ring, because it is translated to wins. I know we, saw the 0-1 tonight, but Jabroni knows what he's doing until he doesn't. And, as of, right now, it seems like he knows what he's doing. So we'll see how he finishes this match out, but looks like Governor was a little jealous he didn't get in one of those no DQ matches from earlier, as he takes Jabroni down on the chair.
swinging neck breaker on the chair only gets a 1 count. You think a move like that would be more impactful, but that's just the kind of guy Jabroni is.
Jabroni's going to get a little offense himself going. The Governor's been kind of taking advantage of him so far tonight, but the Jabroni's looking like, okay, this is how you want to do this, well, let's beat the hell out of each other then.
Jabroni with the elbow to the head. Again, trying to work over that head a little bit. I think I saw a seated sleeper earlier as well with those hard shots to the head. Ooh, the Governor just stomping a mud hole in him, but getting the arm wringer in return. Working the left arm this time, maybe trying to make sure that some of the Governor's moves are going to be a little less effective later on.
Yeah, and the Governor's definitely going to feel this one after the match tonight. I know he's been kind of favoring using that right arm, but Jabroni does not want to keep that going. He definitely is going to want to stop him at his power source, which really seems to be there. Jabroni's going to try a pin early on. Got to get a little bit more in before we go for that, I would think.
Ooh, nice textbook suplex, landing Jabroni's legs on that chair just for the extra exclamation point at the end of it. And the Governor, the 2-finger victory salute again, this time to the crowd, which is kind of odd. The crowd seems pretty pro-Governor. Maybe he doesn't like that.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Looks like he's just kind of do his own thing, as we have seen some blood early on the Governor.
In our first no DQ match of the night, Jabroni has punched a cut directly into the Governor's head, and he is bleeding everywhere, Bobson.
Yeah, it's going to take a minute to clean the, looks like it's going to take a minute to clean the ring after this match, especially if the Jabroni starts bleeding, because Governor's been just going after that face all night long.
Big Dragon screw leg whip there, move we have not seen too much of here in Slaughterhouse, and a side Russian leg sweep. These two guys are really going at it. I've heard a lot about the Governor from his time on the independent circuit, and what I've heard is that when he sees red, he goes into another mode completely. Just someone you wouldn't even recognize.
And it looks like he's just going to keep going after that neck and head area and try to get another pin in real quick.
Only a 2 count. Those punches may not have been that effective, but it probably really pissed him off, honestly. All that dancing.
Yeah, it looks like the Governor's kind of through with the little tricks and games that Jabroni's been throwing at him, but I don't know how much longer he can bleed as he finally lands a drop kick on him here.
I think that was about the 7th or 8th one, and it was to the spine. Probably the most effective place you can hit a move like that. And he did his little shuffle, hit another punch, going for that seated sleeper, trying to work that head and neck, just like you said, now that the Governor is bleeding.
Yeah, and I just don't see this one going on for too much longer. Earl Dipshit's kind of letting it happen, Obviously, this isn't a no DQ match, This is a...
The ocular pat down was hit by Jabroni. I'm sorry to talk over you there. I just get very excited whenever I see an ocular pat down. He does not secure the 3 for Jabroni.
What's about as exciting as we're going to see the Birds of War get. That is, we're going to see Frank Reynolds a little later, but Jabroni has got the moves.
Ooh, huge lariat there. Probably picked something up from the Governor's time spent in Japan studying those wrestlers. God, those hard shots to the head just opening up that cut. And it looks like he may be going for another ocular pat down here. No, big double axe handle off the top.
He's going to go for that pin again.
Not quite enough.
There's nothing he can throw at him to keep him down, Walter.
Governor's one tough customer, man. This guy is a wrestler's wrestler.
Yeah, he is out here to prove to a lot of guys back there in the locker room is like, hey, I may be covered in blood, but I'm going to take on these Birds of War. These guys just screwing around in the ring, and I'm going to show them what for. He's more of a traditional guy. He's got a kind of a good upbringing as far as his wrestling career, and he really wants to show that he's worth something here.
Ooh, knee to the small of the back there. Oh, low blow from the Governor. I was hoping this would be a cleaner fight than it actually has been, but it's not surprising here in the Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about that, honestly.
Ocular pat down. Oh my god. Oh my god, Bobson.
And it looks like it's going to be a KO. He is not moving. I feel like we need to really go check on the Governor.
I have never seen an elbow drop that hard in my entire life, Bobson. You're right. It looks like our medical staff is coming down now. My mom's friend Janet, who is a nurse, is here checking on the governor, checking on that cut, making sure that it's not interfering with anything. I'm not a doctor. I don't know how any of this works, but I just hope the governor's okay.
Yeah, your mom's friend has been pretty great for us, since she's been helping out with Slaughterhouse. We are a little short-handed. Obviously, we have a lot of our staff beat up backstage by the wrestlers, but it looks like I don't think he's able to walk out of the ring. I think they're going to have to bring the gurney out. So it might take a second. They're going to have to obviously change the mat out since it is now covered in the governor's blood. As Jabroni improves to 2-0 since he has joined Slaughterhouse Wrestling. The Birds of War, the original Birds of War, are still undefeated as far as it goes.
Yeah, you got to think that that kind of moves Jabroni into the rankings a little bit. We have a top 5 ranking here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. I believe the results will be posted sometime soon after the end of this pay-per-view. But yeah, we are. You might think that he might move up in title contention a little bit after scoring big wins like that.
Yeah, you got that right. And I mean, some of the guys ahead of him are going to wrestle here tonight. Orville Neal is in our next match. And the Demented One, he's got to kind of make something for himself here. If Jason Waterfalls can somehow get the victory over him, I could see him dropping out of the rankings, as well as STO and Frank Reynolds, who are currently going to wrestle on this card tonight.
Couldn't agree with you more there, Bobson. But speaking of Orville Neal, in our next match, he's going to be taking on Jason Waterfalls, and it looks like they are getting ready to get in the ring.
Walter, since I've joined Slaughterhouse Wrestling as a commentator, I've been doing this for about, 47 years now, and I've never seen a group talk as much as the Bankrollers do to not back it up in the ring.
They are constantly writing checks that their mouths can't cash. That seems to be their thing. They had one member who won a lot of matches, the Chicago Cowboy, who we have not seen since his borderline embarrassing loss to Walnut at the main event of Slaughterhouse 1. But the rest of them have not really been able to put it together. But I think that's why Jason Waterfalls has been spending time in the Big Money Gym trying to change up his moves, the way he wrestles, his philosophy on wrestling, and you can tell even now he is not wearing those trademark jorts that
I was just going to say that, Walter. It's clear there's been a change in Jason Waterfalls here tonight. He is not the same, I can't really say jovial man we've gotten to know, but he is clearly in a darker place, and he's going to have to be in one to take on Orville Neal here tonight.
Couldn't agree with you more. Orville Neal is a scary competitor. Even Big Money Marty, who has not been fazed by much here, said that Orville scared the shit out of him. And you got to wonder, maybe Jason wasn't training for this match specifically when he decided to retool his entire wrestling philosophy, persona, whatever you want to call it. But it's probably a good thing, and let's see if that pays off here.
Well, early on, looks like the Demented One is kind of taking advantage of everything that Jason is letting him. But, Jason has got those strikes in him, but he's kind of got to get them going.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of wild backhanded chops kind of miss. But at least he's able to wring the arm of the Demented One, hopefully slow him down a little bit, and driving his elbow into his back, hitting his knee onto the mat. This is a more aggressive Jason Waterfalls, who was already a pretty aggressive guy.
Yeah, and it looks like his strategy is just going to kind of be, let me just go at the body of Orville Neal, regardless of what I get. If I get it, I'm going to go at it. The face, the knees, the back, the chest. I'm going to try to take whatever I can, whatever he's going to give me, and I'm going to make it hurt.
Oh, of course. And, that's kind of the thing with this, is that Jason has not been winning a lot of matches here. I'm sorry, Jason, if you're listening to this, if you're going to watch this back later to study the tape at the Big Money Gym, I'm sorry to say that. But when you haven't been winning matches like that, you got to do something. You know what I mean? And if that something is just wildly striking anywhere you can, I respect that. I think that's a decent strategy.
Yeah, and the Bankrollers, they've really got to get something going here over these next few pay-per-views. This is the only match they have here tonight, and Jason really needs to do something for them. I mean, Orville Neal's just going to rub his face on the ropes.
Stomping his head for good measure, too, Bobson. This is we call it the Demented One. This is an aggressive Orville Neal. We've only seen him so far in those 2 matches with STO. The first one where he came up, it was technically a draw, but I think we can say he came up a little short. And the second one that he won, I'm not sure that we've seen this Demented One.
Yeah, he's coming out pretty hot. I know we've usually seen him, it's going to take a minute for him to get to that point, but tonight he is just he came right out ready to go. I think he's, what I think it is from what I've been told, he doesn't understand how the internet works, but I think someone told him what Don't Go Jason had been saying about him, and I think he's not too happy about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be either. That big senton there from Jason. Just finally, I think Jason is getting the chance to show what he's been talking about this whole time. That anger, that force. He's getting finally what he believes to be his chance to show it in the ring. So as angry as Orville Neal is, I think Jason Waterfalls is coming into this with some level of confidence in the match.
Yeah, and he's gonna take a few breathers here and there, which is kind of a smart thing to do. Catch your breath while Orville's down. That way you can go longer, because Orville is not gonna let up when he gets his offense going again.
Ooh, just a jumping headbutt into the pelvic thrust. God, I hate that.
Every time, it doesn't get any easier to watch, Walter. And these 416 fans, they did not sign up for that. And, they have to watch Walnut wrestle later, so they had to understand that it was going to be an interesting night.
Ooh, ghetto clutch for Jason. Only gets a 1 count. Might need to put a little more heat on it. Gut-wrench suplex from Orville Neal. These two guys are going back and forth. We haven't been calling the moves too much. We've more been talking about their the thoughts going into this match. But this match has had some huge moves in it, Bobson.
Yeah, you've got that right, and we can see where Jason Waterfalls has kind of worked on, retooling, figuring out, what do I need to bring to these matches to start getting the W's? What can I do to get in the win column? And, it's looking pretty good for him so far. He's gotten back up after everything that Orville has thrown his way, and he is getting some blows on him here.
Yeah, he's stringing together those DDTs with that combination and that sliding D to the head. Going into, I don't even know what to call that pin. That was amazing.
Yeah, that is something in my 47 years of commentating, I have not seen anything like that before. Is
almost like a mountain variation, maybe. I don't even know.
I'm not too sure, but Orville's gonna have to be kind of scared of being in the corner with Jason, this offense that he is just putting out there, but he needs to start getting some pins in.
Rolling kick to the corner into the rolling lariat, the knees to the head. This is a completely new Jason Waterfalls. I see what he's been doing in the gym.
Yeah, and hopefully it pays off.
Only gets a 2 count. I was a little surprised there. We've seen some backslides win some big matches here.
Yeah, I was very interested on how long that was going to go for. Jason's been kind of putting the hurt down on Orville as he gets a drop kick to the face.
Oh, another fancy pin from Jason Waterfalls, almost getting the victory for him. Good on him, man. Oh, big STO. Getting down on all fours and doing something I don't want to have to describe on commentary here.
Yeah, the fans saw it. I saw it. We both saw it. We don't need to talk about it anymore. And Jason has strung together some pretty great offense here, but he needs to keep it going if he's going to keep Orville down. He's almost gotten that 3 count, but if he lets Orville turn this match around, he will.
Winning the strike exchange with a big super kick and then a boot to the head from Orville, knocking him down. God, these guys are going at it. Gut-wrench suplex, that's probably the 5th or 6th one we've seen from this match. Just 2 strong guys going at it here, man. Just slamming the absolute hell out of each other. Ooh, big butterfly suplex there. Orville keeping it between the ropes this time. I'm a little surprised.
Almost a 3 count. Jason can taste this one. He is right there.
Big Uranagi from Orville Neal. That move has been very successful for him here in Slaughterhouse. And the running clothesline to follow it up.
Orville try to get the pin on Jason.
Only a 2 count.
This is what he's going to need to keep doing. He's going to need to keep kicking out of these pins if Orville's going to keep getting opportunities. But I feel like Jason has got a few, string together just a few more offensive series, and he's going to take Orville down.
Big power slam down from Orville, but yeah, I agree with you. We have not seen the infinite gaze yet. Jason Waterfall's signature move that he has spent years honing. Hopefully, if he hits it, it's going to be successful for him, but we will see.
It is quite the move, and as many times as I've seen it, I still can't really describe what I'm seeing. And you can tell he has put so much work into it.
Jason Waterfall's there getting some big strikes. Stunned on his feet. Falling great under lariat. Orville Neal's been favoring that move a little tonight. It's been successful for him so far. Big power slam, too.
Jason's got to get something going. Orville has kind of turned this match around for him, and he's going to turn. There he goes.
Another suplex. God, these guys have to be tired. Just throwing each other around the ring.
Suplex after suplex.
A big senton from Orville. That may be it, Bobson.
He's going to go for it as Orville's going to get the 1, the 2, the 3 count. Jason Waterfalls has gotten down for the count. Orville Neal has got another W in his career here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. But what a match here is Jason Waterfalls, and the Bankrollers have not been winning these matches, but good God, have they been putting on some barn burners out there.
Yeah, I'm just a little worried that they might start resorting to some unfavorable tactics to start winning. They've threatened it for a while, but we haven't seen too much rule breaking from the Bankrollers. But now that they are, God, I don't know how many matches down at this point. My worry is that we might see some bending of the rules, some money being thrown around to refs. But, that could all be speculation on my part. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, well, if there's anything we know about the Bankrollers, they're willing to spend a few bucks to kind of make things go their way, but they can't have, Black Snow fight all their matches for them and try to get these W's. They have to figure out a way to string some W's together in this ring, in this league. I mean, I don't know how long that money can last. From what I've heard about, Marty and Ricky Big Bucks, they seem to have an endless supply of it. But, I mean, how long until it runs out if they keep fighting like this?
Yeah, definitely agree with you there, Bobson. But speaking of Black Snow, we're going to turn our attention now to Supreme versus Behold a Dark Horse. Like I said in our little pre-show, tensions have been boiling over between these two teams since the tag team tournament where Supreme debuted. And STO finally has contacted his brother, the wrestler Nightmare, and asked for help, hoping that he can be the key to victory here. And Bobson, I gotta tell you, I'm really looking forward to this one.
Yeah, this might be one of the sneakier, matches of the pay-per-view that could end up being the best one of the entire damn thing. These two teams have been putting out a lot of fantastic matches since both of them joined Slaughterhouse Wrestling. Obviously, Supreme holding the tag team titles, STO having success in his singles matches, and Black Snow even, as a mercenary and on his own has been, doing some fantastic things here in Slaughterhouse. So I can't wait to really see, both of these, teams just kind of take it out in the match in a tornado tag match.
Oh, for sure. I was just about to remind the folks at home that a tornado tag match means all 6 men are legal at the same time. It's one fall to a win, so whoever gets the first pinfall or submission or knockout, as we've seen here in the Slaughterhouse way too many times, will be the victor. But there will be no tags. All 6 men will be going at it at all times in the match. And truly anything can happen here.
Yeah, you've got that right. As many tornado tags as I'm sure both of us have seen in our commentating days, I don't think we're going to see anything like we've seen anything like we're probably going to see here tonight.
Definitely, Bobson. But speaking of what we're going to see here tonight, it looks like the competitors are getting ready to get in the ring, and we're going to kick it on back to Earl Dipshit.
And this is our first ever tornado tag. I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen, any other of these types of matches here. We have factions that have more than 2 wrestlers who I'm sure would love to kind of get some in-ring action. And obviously we might have a title belt in this, type of wrestling at some point in the future.
Definitely. That's the kind of thing that you think these non-title matches with the entire faction of Supreme could lead to. If you get a pin on Mello or Zeus, that could bring up a title opportunity. It just depends. But, even pinning Vint here, Victor Hill, could lead to some big opportunities in the future because he's been such a featured singles wrestler here. But now we have Behold a Dark Horse making their way to the ring with their newest member, Nightmare. God, this is an intimidating faction, Bobson. These are three guys that I would not want to be in the ring with.
Yeah, I gotta agree. Earl Dipshit has got his work cut out for him as refereeing this match, as they're just all gonna kind of go at it. The chaos is just unfolded in the ring in front of our eyes.
Yeah, I didn't realize this until I saw all 6 men in the ring at once. I don't know how to call this.
I think we're just gonna have to play it by ear and just see what we can do. I know, as we've said, we've done a few tornado matches in our days, but none with this many strong competitors. I mean, some of these guys, Victor Hill is, he could be a potential, Slaughterhouse championship title holder in the future.
Of course, and Mello and Zeus, already title holders. Two of the most exciting players we have in Slaughterhouse, probably. Mello doing a lot of the more athletic moves that a big man should never do, and Zeus doing more of the power moves, super artfully executed always. But yeah, they're just three of, like, if you built a trio from the ground up, I think you'd make something like this, honestly.
Yeah, and Supreme looks like they're kind of getting the advantage early on, but there's just so much blow trading, it's kind of hard to keep up with what's going on in the ring. I mean, I don't even know what to say, as these guys are just throwing guys around the ring left and right, I mean...
I just saw stereo gorilla presses. This is wild. Big suplex with the front release there from Zeus. I'm just going to start calling moves left and right here. I saw an Enziguri there from Mello. Some big clubbing blows to STO there from Vint. Actually, I can't do this for much longer. This is too much.
That's about as difficult as it's going to get. But Zeus going for the early pin against Nightmare, trying to go after the younger brother there. He gets a 2 count early on, as both these teams are not afraid to throw some pins down.
And for anyone watching at home who is a little unfamiliar with these competitors, let me try to run them down for you real quick. So, Supreme are the ones wearing red and black. Zeus is the one with the gloves on. Mello is the one without gloves in the singlet. And Vint, Victor Hill, is the shirtless one with all the tattoos. On the other
also
side,
has the red hair.
Yes. And Mello's also bald, if that helps. On the other side, we have Behold a Dark Horse. Black Snow, ironically, is the one in the white pants. STO is the one.
We finally got that sponsorship with Hardy's we have been talking about with him.
He has been talking about that for like months now. This man is always eating thick burgers backstage. I don't even know when the last time I saw a thick burger before I started the Slaughterhouse Wrestling was. But he has just been constantly eating thick burgers. Before matches, this man is just slamming thick burgers. And I asked him for one. He had like 5 with him. I said, can I have one? And he said no.
I would be afraid to ask Behold a Dark Horse for anything, to be honest with you. They're the reason your mom's friend Janet has had to be a nurse for us for so long here.
Oh no, Black Snow completely whipped my ass after. That's why I had to take Slaughterhouse 2 off. I don't know if you knew that, Bobson, but I was in the ring, was in the building for that. I asked him for his thick burger. He kicked me so hard that my nose broke. I had an orbital bone break. I'm still healing from it right now. Thank you for not saying anything about that on commentary. I'm really beat up about this face mask I have to wear.
I'm trying not to look over as much as possible.
Oh, it's gross. It's gross. I know it's gross. We don't have to talk about it anymore. But yes, Black Snow is the one with the Hardy's pants. STO is the big guy wearing no shirt with trunks, and Nightmare is the guy wearing all black head to toe. Also the big guy. Whew, okay. Now if you're a new fan at home, you know what's up. I think somebody just got knocked out in the ring. I think Nightmare...
It looks like Zeus just took Nightmare out. It's 7 minutes. This tornado tag match has already ended, it looks like.
Ladies and gentlemen, I believe Zeus just knocked out Nightmare with some sort of a brain buster. Nightmare's debut match here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling ending in 7 minutes and 21 seconds because his head broke.
It really does appear that way. Supreme is showing why they're the tag team title holders. Why have they have been able to defend, against anyone that's tried to come their way. But good God, way to send a message to Beholder Dark Horse. Supreme looks like there might be a little bit of aggravation, a little bit of anger about Beholder Dark Horse's antics back in the locker room, and they have clearly showed it in the ring.
Yeah, you gotta wonder what's going through Beholder Dark Horse's head now, because they have been trying to get the best of Supreme for months now, and even recruiting a new member, which they really didn't even want to do. They were pretty adamant about being a two-man faction for a long time. They recruited that third member, and then the third member lost.
And you asked what was going through his head. I don't know what could be going through his head. He might not be able to figure that out himself at this point. And that, like you spoke earlier, you did say that was STO. That was his younger brother, correct?
Yes, it is his younger brother.
I'm, you got to be thinking STO is going to be looking for revenge after that. I mean, his brother, he is still lying here in the ring. Supreme's already gone backstage. They're cheering, they're dancing, they're singing. And Beholder Dark Horse is still here waiting, for somebody to come help. I mean, your mom's friend Janet can only be in so many places at once.
We might have to start paying Janet. I feel kind of bad asking her for this many favors. But speaking of matches that may end in some sort of medical mishap, we are going to have one of the most anticipated rematches in Slaughterhouse history. Frank Reynolds taking on Thomas Noble. Thomas begging for this rematch after the loss he sustained in Slaughterhouse 2, going to take Frank on again in the squared circle.
Yeah, and Noble is such a fantastic wrestler. Cannot be said enough how good of a wrestler he is, but how can you really judge that when you're fighting against someone who is literally an insane man?
Yeah, I really don't know. Like we said a couple times in the first match these two had, Frank isn't really here to have a wrestling match. You know what I mean? There are guys like Thomas Noble that go out there and they respect the art of wrestling, they respect the rules of wrestling, they love wrestling as this violent, bloody art form. But people like Frank just kind of want to go out there and fuck shit up. And I'm a little worried that Thomas doesn't really know what he's biting off here.
Yeah, you've said everything that you pretty much can say, Walter, besides just getting these men to come to the ring, and it looks like they are ready backstage to come on down. I wonder what Thomas Noble's, his game plan, his strategy has been this past week, suffering such a, I would guess, some kind of an embarrassing loss for him, this past pay-per-view. But how embarrassed can you really be when someone is blatantly breaking about every rule that possibly can be broken?
Well, I did get to talk to him a little bit backstage after the last show, as we were closing up shop here in the Slaughterhouse, and he was furious, absolutely fuming. He was mad at Frank, he was mad at the ref, he was mad at Commissioner Lewis, he was mad at himself. He just has so much anger built up from that loss, coming out of two other sports, being extremely successful at both of them, and then losing to this short, balding man. He just wanted to get back in there, and I think that anger is going to be his biggest tool. Frank dodging the spear off the bat, sort of
this is exactly what we saw last pay-per-view.
Frank going for the eye poke in the forearm immediately, but of course Thomas Noble winning the power battle there. That's where he's gonna have to beat Frank, is sheer power.
And the Trash Man's not going to try to lock up with him too much, because he is not going to win those battles. As pure strength, as I am eating my words as soon as I say them.
Say stuff like that, and then he's gonna take that knee to the side from that slam, as it were.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what more we can say. I mean, Noble has got to put some damage on this man, and honestly, I hope he buys himself some time, because, your mom's friend Janet is back there helping Nightmare. I don't know how soon she could get out here in case of an emergency.
Noble trying to go for that flying knee bar or ankle lock with the grapevine. Hard to tell from our vantage point. A little earlier than he did last time. Maybe he feels like a submission victory might be the key this time. I don't really disagree with him there. And fourth spear dodge. Jesus Christ. Frank is
Noble too. I mean, Frank, why is Dipshit not checking this man to see if he's buttered up? There is some substance on his person that is helping him get out of these spears, and that is the 5th spear we have seen him dodge.
I think here's my theory. So, never mind. Okay, wow, that move won the match for Frank last time. Doesn't even get a 1 count this time. Thomas Noble is not here to play around. Winning the striking title as well. This is a new Thomas Noble.
I think he saw, I think he went through enough last pay-per-view. I think he's going to come out and he's just like, I'm going to beat the hell out of this small man. And I think he wants to do it his way. He wants to spear this man, and he is going to have to do everything he can possible to get a spear on him, and it might end up being the difference maker if he can.
Totally agree with you there. But that's the thing with Frank that I was about to say. I don't think that he's buttered up or lubed up from an outside source. I don't think he's applying baby oil to himself in the locker room. I think he just naturally secretes some sort of disgusting slick liquid that is giving him a genetic advantage here in this match.
Yeah, well, it's nice that you have your little face mask on to block you from that kind of thing, but, I'm having to, if this happens to get outside of the ring, I'm going to have to deal with it firsthand. And it looks like Noble's going to get some offense going, just kind of put the beat down on Frank while he has the opportunity.
A big flying clothesline there. Frank takes him down with the Hurricane Rana pin combination, though. I just don't know what Thomas Noble is going to have to do to take Frank down. You're right that it might be that spear, though. That is the one move he has not been able to successfully hit on Frank.
Yeah, and you got to think this cockiness that Frank is showing when he got the pin on him, throwing that one up in the air. He knows what he's doing. He knows how he's trying to irritate Noble, but he's taking all the blows he's got so far and doing what he can.
Big powerbomb there. We're seeing a slightly different strategy from Frank as well, going for that giant spin and this powerbomb. Maybe trying to, just wear down the body, the thighs of Thomas Noble a little bit more. Ooh, stringing Frank up in the tree of woe, punching his knee.
It did look like it was his knee.
That's that UFC middleweight heavyweight championship strategy that I just can't comprehend, I guess.
And holy God, does Frank have some flexibility in those hips?
Dude,
he's fighting him.
Just biting him. And now Thomas Noble is bleeding again, just like in their first confrontation at Slaughterhouse 2. God, it's a bloodbath already. I'm so glad we changed out this mat in between matches.
Yeah, we're going to have to change it again for the next match, and then the match after that with Dank Poopstain being in the ring again. But I just don't understand what Earl Dipshit is. I mean, it's not like Frank is in the bankroll, so you can't pay him to look the other way. And he gets
the three count with the seated bonsai drop, the running bonsai drop, excuse me. Getting a 3 on Thomas Noble in 9:15.
That is one of our shorter matches of the night. I'm checking. It is our second shortest match. The Tornado Tag match didn't last too long. But at this point, I'm not too sure what we can say about Frank Reynolds. I'm very scared to say that I'm getting a lot of Walnut vibes from this horrifying man.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way. He is just a freak of nature that is completely unexplainable by normal, just anything There's no real comparison to real life for Frank. He is here, he is terrifying, and he is slippery. And this match is probably going to put him in title contention now, which is an absolutely horrifying thing to think about.
Yeah, it's something that I don't think we really want to consider. I think it's something we'd rather put on the back burner and just wish it away. I know it's not going to go away, but we've got to wish it as best we can. And I just think we thank our lucky stars that match ended before Noble got too injured. I mean, did you see the scythe come out? Because I personally did not see that scythe come out.
I did not. Maybe he didn't bring it to the ring with him this time. I didn't see Earl dipshit take it from him. So either he had it on him or he decided against it this time, maybe trying to just vary up his strategy a little bit there. But, I don't blame him. When you wrestle someone like Thomas Noble twice, you've got to change up what you're doing.
Yeah, and we did get to see there was a little bit of more traditional wrestling in the Trash Man's style. Maybe he wanted to try to take on Noble in his own way, but when he realized it wasn't working, what did he go right back to doing?
Exactly. But moving on from that match a little bit and getting back to the Exotic Husbands, someone we've really been focusing on tonight, we've got the Exotic Husbands of Dong Michaels of Dank Poopstain versus the Gay Space Cowboys, Forged in Fire champion, and Big Daddy D, Doug Olay. For intrepid fans who have been watching since day one, we've seen two long matches, almost totaling a full hour in the ring between these two, going blow for blow, flip for flip. And this is going to be their final match of this series. And this one's for all the marbles. Whoever wins this is going to become #1 tag contender and most likely will challenge Supreme at the Slaughterhouse 4 event that we are currently in the planning stages of.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, I'm beyond excited to see them wrestle. They are currently tied 1-1 for their, overall record. And tonight, the Exotic Husbands are 1-1. So, they'd like to bump that up to 2-1. But at the same time, the Gay Space Cowboys have made their presence known since they have joined Slaughterhouse Wrestling. And I got to say, I can't wait for them to get started. And it looks like they're about ready to come on out.
And you know something, Bobson? I've been having to say the words Forged in Fire champion for almost a month now. I'm kind of hoping he lives up to his name at some point. You know what I mean? I'm kind of hoping he eventually gets some sort of gold around his waist, so he actually becomes a Forged in Fire champion.
Yeah, it is kind of weird to be calling him a champion every single time we call his name in the ring, but that's what he wants to be known as. But if that's the case, he needs to get some jewelry around that waist of his.
I mean, to be fair to him, there is kind of a storied history in wrestling of people having really presumptuous names. Like you have Todd Champion from WCW, who I believe also did some All Japan. You've got Jack Victory, who did a lot of ECW back in the 90s. But
the 1-2-3 kid, I mean,
that is true, and he did lose. Why isn't there a wrestler named just like Jack Submission Man?
I don't know. I bet we'll probably see one in Slaughterhouse eventually. I think, that's a name I think we've got coming. It looks like Forged in Fire and Dong are going to start this match just like they did last time.
Of course, that's one of the combinations. For fans that have not seen these matches before, a lot of the times we've seen Forged in Fire champion and Dong Michaels paired up in the ring, and then we've also seen Dang Poopstain, who's sort of the powerhouse of the Husbands, paired off against Big Daddy D, who is obviously the powerhouse of the Gay Space Cowboys.
Yeah, if there's one thing you could be said about Dank Poopstain is he is not #2 in this tag group.
He's not #2?
He is not. He is #1.
I couldn't agree with you there more, Bobson. But we're seeing a little bit of a different style here. Normally we see the two faster wrestlers paired off with each other, and I guess the teams are going for a little bit of a different strategy this time, and really I can't blame them. That's what I keep saying about all these rematches we have here at Slaughterhouse. You gotta change up your game plan, or else you're just gonna have the same results that you had last time.
And and Dank is doing exactly what he used to do. He's keeping Forged in Fire away from his tag partner because he wants to get that tag on early. He wants to get it off, and getting Big Daddy D in is what he needs to do.
I'm sorry I have been a little off my move calling game here, but did you just see that flipping drop kick from Forged in Fire champion to Dank Poopstain?
Knee to the leg kick to the head. That was pretty impressive. Forged in Fires might be living up to his name, might get the opportunity to make himself a champion.
I know, he has been impressing me in this match. He's always impressed me for a while. He's a very athletic wrestler. But God, he's been busting out some new moves in this one. And since we've seen an hour of him wrestling before, I really didn't know how much, new stuff he'd have left in him. I kind of thought we would have seen it all by now. But that's the Gay Space Cowboys for you.
Yeah, they're going to show us something new every time they get into the ring. Even though they wear just the normal, black and white colors, for a name like Gay Space Cowboys, you got to expect a little more, I guess, charisma, a little more excitability, something like Jabroni, or something even like the Exotic Husbands. But it's worked for them, and maybe it'll keep working for them, and they can, challenge for the tag team titles of the next pay-per-view.
I think so, Bobson. We're seeing a lot of quick pins and a lot of quick moves that are grounding them right now. It's almost hard to keep up with this. And the tag out to Forged and Fired champion, wrestling Dong again, shooting him off to the outside and just taking a second to bask in his own glory there.
Yeah, catch his breath, take a second, just enjoy what you've done so far. Forged and Fired coming out pretty hot so far tonight.
Stone piledriver from Forged and Fired champion as well. Spiking Dong on the top of his head, only getting a 1 count. We're seeing a lot of quick tags in this match.
And honestly, Forged and Fired does not have a good record against Dank Poopstain in the ring. We've seen that match won time and time again by Dank Poopstain, as they just trade blows. They're just going to kind of go at it.
The Forged and Fired champion getting the upper hand there with a big European uppercut. You gotta kind of wonder what the strategy here is with the quick pins. Are they thinking they're gonna win? Are they just trying to make their opponent expend that much more energy? I don't know. I'd be curious to hear that from both of these teams later.
Yeah, and Forged and Fire, it looks like he's been watching a good bit of his past tape, as he's just kind of given it to both of the exotic husbands so far tonight.
The tag back out to Big Daddy D. Here we go. This is the match I want to see. Huge belly-to-belly suplex there from Big Daddy D, just wrenching Dank Poopstain, who is not a small man, over his head.
And so far tonight, the exotic husbands have had their work cut out for them, as it looks like the Gay Space Cowboys have done a little more homework on their end, maybe hit the gym a few more times. I don't think there's many gyms here in Kansas that Dank is allowed it, honestly. They have no issue with Dong, but we've talked about Dank Poopstain and his issues when it comes to the public.
Yeah, and it's probably good that they borrow from those places. I would do that if I was a business owner. Ooh, Dong body slamming Big Daddy D to the outside and just taking a second to showboat.
Love the charisma.
With a running punch and then an elbow drop. Dong doing a lot of heavy lifting for his team right now, stringing together some offense, which Nick Poopstain wasn't really doing a good job of doing.
Which is very surprising to say, considering how many times we've seen both of these teams wrestle. Dank has kind of been the powerhouse. It looks like both teams are kind of turning it around. It looks like, Dong is going to be the offense for the team. The Forged and Fire is going to be the offense for the Gay Space Cowboys, but Big Daddy D is not letting up. He's still going to be a powerhouse out there, so Dank, I think, is going to be the difference in this match.
Ooh, big stunner from Forged and Fire champion there, dazing Dong, and he goes for the low blow. God, you hate to see it, but when the stakes are this high, you got to do anything you can to win. A big Ushigoroshi from Forged and Fire champion to Dank Poopstain, and putting him in the figure 4 after that. God, Forged and Fire is just, there's no other way to say it, on fire tonight.
He really is. He must have heard all of our talk about him being a champion backstage, because he's really taking... What did I just see out there, Walter?
Cutter into the longest 450 I have ever seen in my life.
We are seeing different Forged and Fire champion. I mean, he is trying his damnedest to earn that title here tonight.
Cutting him off, trying to ground him with that lariat and the seated headlock maneuver. It's smart strategy there. Normally, that would kind of be Dank's job, but Dong, kind of doing it for his teammate this time, trying to try something different. A big backdrop into a running elbow. Yeah, I don't blame him. This is working.
Yeah, maybe take a second, bring in Big Daddy D to take on Dong. Forged and Fire has had Dank's number since this match started, so get Big Daddy D in, go muscle to muscle against Dong here.
These two titans lucking up in a strike exchange, just those huge clubbing blows to the head, which it looks like Big Daddy D is going to get the advantage on, but he is tired. We're only 13 minutes into this match, and these competitors are giving it all they have.
And Big Daddy D doesn't really have much of a reason to be tired. He's probably only been out there for 3 minutes of in-ring action so far tonight.
But he is getting tossed around like that big body slam. Now Dank Poopstain is back in.
Yeah, and Dong have to take a few breathers over there.
This is a good strategy here. Making sure Big Daddy D stays in the husband's corner, locking him up with that Boston Crab. Oh my
Big Daddy
God.
D showing off that strength.
Pulling him up for the Gorilla Slam and tagging out immediately to Forged in Fire.
This is who you want.
Trying to get trying to save Big Daddy D for the big moves. Excuse me, I really could not get that out of my mouth. I'm just so entranced by the action here. This is one of the better matches I've seen all night, probably.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, we called this at the beginning as being one of the matches of the night, but I don't think we expected Forged in Fire to be the one leading the way for that call.
Another one of those tombstone pile driver figure 4 leg lock combinations. Oh, both of them going for chops at once. Forged in Fire landing his, and Dong whipping Forged in Fire champion into the opposing corner. Maybe not the best strategy, but he is going for a superplex. Big move.
Men are just in the ring. They are breathing, trying to catch their breath, and Forged in Fire's a little dazed, though.
Backslide from Dong. Does not get the 3 count. Close, though. God, these are some big moves.
Ooh, Forged in Fire is going to feel that one. That might turn the match around there, as he is dazed outside the ring, and Dank is making his way slowly over there to him.
6, 7.
Oh my God, Canadian Destroyer on the outside, back into the figure 4 leg lock.
Not sure what he's going for outside the ring there, though, Walter.
Trying to get the count out win, but it's looking like it's going to backfire somehow.
Not too sure about that one. That was a little confusing even for me and my 47 years of commentating.
Hey, I'm going to trust you on that one. 47 years, huh?
47 years. This, what's this month? This is August. 47 years this July, actually.
Ooh, walking with Big Daddy there. The big suplex pile driver. Does not secure the win. God, Dong's head has to be hurting by this point. He has taken a lot of damage to that thing.
You got that right. And Big Daddy D has been showing off that strength. You were called that early on so well, saying that he's only coming out for these big moves, and that's all he's done the second he stepped in the ring all night. But it clearly takes a lot out of him to do those.
Ooh, pump handle slam. The tag back out the Forged in Fire champion. Again, hitting Dong's head. Ooh, but Dong with a little head-based offense of his own, going for the neck breaker. Every time I see an elbow drop now, I'm just worried that, it's going to be another jabroni situation where we break somebody's sternum here.
Yeah, it kind of looks like it could be. And Forged in Fire is going to go right back to it with Dank Poopstain. He has had his number all evening.
Almost with the 3 count with that gut buster.
He's going for it.
Forged in Fire champion just does all the best moves. We all know it. But it's not going to be enough to get that 3.
I don't know what it's going to take to keep Dank Poopstain down. I mean, this guy, no matter what he's doing, he's getting right back up. There's not much that's going to keep him down.
I think the only thing that will keep him down at this point is a strong flush.
I think you're right there, but Dank's going to go for the pin on Forged in Fire. Kind of interesting. It looks like this match is winding down here, honestly. I mean, I don't see this one lasting 30 minutes tonight.
I was just about to say we are at just over 20 minutes now. And I kind of disagree with you here. I think this match could keep going. These guys have shown stamina like you would not believe, especially for men of their size. Oh man, big exploder suplex there from Big Daddy D. Don't know if we've seen that move from him, but that might be enough to really make the difference here. Going for the second one.
And go for the third. Let's see what he can do.
Opting to go for the running head play.
I guess so.
It was effective. It knocked Dank Poopstain off his feet.
Dong misses another drop kick. We are having an issue with these drop kicks connecting tonight. It seems like everyone's kind of been a little bit off their game.
That humid, liberal Kansas air just making everyone a little bit slipperier. Or more slippery, excuse me. I should have stayed in high school.
Yeah, looks like Dong opted out of going up on the top rope, but Big Daddy D is going to go the opposite way and go on up.
Big crossbody from Big Daddy D. Not even a 1 count. Dong kicking out. These two just going back at it, slapping each other at their faces. Oh my god. Big super kick from Dong. Will it be enough? Not quite.
I don't know what it's going to take for these men to close it out, as Forged in Fire Dang Poopstain come right back out, and Forged in Fire once again has had his number all night.
Bred from Forged in Fire champion. Opts not to go for the pit. Dong getting a kick on the spine. And a big lariat to follow it up. Can he capitalize?
It's going to take a little bit more than that, I feel like, to take Forged in Fire down. This man has taken everything he's given, but he's not going to really spend too much time in the ring here as he brings Big Daddy D right back in to take on Dank Poopstain.
Big Hurricane Rana. God, I always get scared when he busts that thing out.
He's got a few things he wants to tell Big Daddy D, looks like.
Oh, Big Daddy slamming the head on his knee, and then you can't see what I'm doing right now, but forcing him over with the elbow drop. Almost a 3 count. God, these guys are tired. Even the most basic moves is keeping them down. And we have passed the 25-minute mark here, Bobson. I don't know how much longer this is going to go for.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you honestly, but it looks like Dong is going to have the best opportunity, I think, to close this out for the Exotic Husbands here tonight. Big Daddy D has definitely got other plans in his head.
Big Daddy D getting the crowd on his side and hitting that lariat, but Dong slipping out from under him and tuning up the band. Big super kick.
This might be it for him.
Oh my god. What is going to keep any of these 4 men down? I have no idea at this point.
I couldn't tell you honestly, Walter, we've seen a lot of amazing matches here tonight, but nothing like this. Just the unrelenting offense and all of these guys unwilling to give up.
Dong still finding time to showboat after that big suplex and just these shots to the chin. Forged in Fire's got to be hurting at this point.
Now, he's not staying down for long, though. It looks like he still wants to show, Dong a thing or two. Dong is just not letting up on Forged in Fire. Looks like he might have used up all his stamina he's got for the evening.
These quick tags from the husbands, making sure neither of them gets too worn out of the ring. Really paying off for them here in the late game. Ooh, just stomping Forged in Fire champion in the gut and taking some time to show buff. That's what you expect from the Exotic Husbands.
You
Big
definitely do. He's just going after that spine of Forged in Fire after putting up all these amazing moves tonight. He's going to be feeling this one.
Ooh, DDT almost hit the turnbuckle pad, it looked like. Dong was blocking my view a little bit, so I'm not quite sure what happened there.
Both of these guys just unrelenting, and Dank, it just keeps wagging that finger at Forged in Fire.
And a third elbow drop to just the middle of that spine. And what is he trying to follow it up with? A running bulldog.
But Forged in Fire is not staying down here.
Oh my god.
Look at him go! Forged in Fire has shown he has a place in the Gay Space Cowboys as he has put on the offensive showing here tonight.
Pumping out a new finisher at the 30-minute mark to take down Dank Poopstain. That Flosion, that Emerald Flosion style move, busting out the biggest wrestling move that he could think of to win the biggest match of his career so far. And folks, that broke the 30-minute match. The 300 people in the audience are on their feet. I think we just saw an instant classic, Bobson.
Yeah, I think so too. I think we knew with these 4 men being in the ring tonight, I think we knew we were going to get a match like that. And we got exactly what, we didn't pay for, but the fans, they were on their feet the last 20 minutes of the match, I would say. And they were chanting Forged in Fire, honestly. Big Daddy D putting some hurt on the Exotic Husbands, but Forged in Fire really came out and showed he has a place in Slaughterhouse wrestling.
And you have to think that Supreme is now watching their back, looking over their shoulders. They have to be ready for that title match.
Yeah, Supreme, they had a heck of an evening themselves, showing that they still can, lay the hurt when they need to. And, honestly, I don't know how soon we'll see Behold a Dark Horse come back after that one. Definitely Nightmare, it might take him a minute. But, Supreme has got the work cut out for him. They have not been in the ring with anyone like the Gay Space Cowboys, or even the Exotic Husbands, to be honest with you. So this is going to be their first real showing. But up next, the match of the night, the main event of The Sky's the Limit. Damon Sky versus Walnut for the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Championship.
The namesake of the event, Damon Sky, working his way up, placing high in the initial tournament, winning matches left and right, doing well in the tag team tournament, and finally clawing his way up to a title match against Walnut, who no one has been able to take down. Walnut's only losses have been from his own aggression and when he really, really didn't want to get married. And I don't know that Damon is going to provoke that kind of aggression from Walnut, and I definitely don't think they're going to get married. So if I was Damon, I would be worried.
Yeah, he's going to have a hell of a match ahead of him. I think after that amazing tag match, I have to feel like these fans, knowing full well what they're about to see, just kind of hope this match lasts longer than 10 minutes. With someone like Walnut, I mean, Damon Sky is the guy that I think has, the best chance to take him out of everyone he's wrestled so far. And it looks like both of these men are ready backstage, so let's go down to the ring for the action.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for sticking with us this whole time. We've been very happy that you've let us into your homes for Slaughterhouse 3, Sky's the Limit. This has been one for the books, in my opinion. Some amazing debuts, some great matches. And we're going to cap it off with one of the most anticipated matches in Slaughterhouse history, in my opinion. And you can see that Damon representing, I think Limitless had a rebrand recently, but representing his faction and trying to bring that title to his locker room tonight. Bobson, what do you really think his chances are?
Honestly, with a guy like Walnut, I'm not too sure. This man has made short work of almost everyone he's gone up against, including two women and the muscle of the bankrollers. So I'm just not too sure. I just hope that Damon Sky can get some offense in there, because I think that's what's going to take on Walnut, but he does not seem too concerned as they start this match.
Damon might be the strongest competitor that Walnut has faced, though. Damon has a extremely surprising amount of strength to him, as we've seen from those huge gut-wrench suplexes, those neutralizers. But he's going to have his work cut out for him here. Grounding Walnut early, though, with that big strike to the face. Damon trying to get Walnut running, maybe just trying to tire him out a little bit here. I can't say I blame him.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what it's going to take for someone to take out Walnut. I mean, we've seen all kinds of matches from him. I mean, obviously a 2-on-1 match is one thing last week, but the stamina, it seems he's endless. His recoverability, it seems it's endless. This man just gets right back up no matter what you throw at him, and he's just making quick work of Damon so far this evening.
But Damon right back on his feet too, taking these big suplexes and just getting right back up. God, body slam after body slam. Damon with the boot to the head there, though, trying to create some space.
And I mean, Walnut, he likes the moves he knows, and those are the moves that he's going to do. He has a very specific set of moves that he knows how to do, and he's going to keep doing those all night long. So we're going to see a lot of those power slams.
Yeah, he's got body slam, he's got headbutt, he's going to palm you like a basketball, he's got the slap, and then he has the elbow drop. But big back suplex there from Damon is stringing together some offense here on Walnut. Kind of a little surprising to see this early on.
Just a quick slap to the face too to remind him, hey, this wrestling match is happening. It's real.
Yeah, but you think, Damon's strategy here, we have not seen Walnut late game. You know what I mean? He ends his matches in less than 10 minutes, almost always. If he can get him past that 10-minute mark, that might be where Damon can score a W here.
Yeah, and he's just going to keep going after that head of Damon, kicking that leg up higher than someone with thighs that size should physically be able to.
Damon getting a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker, grounding him with that headlock. Probably a good call, getting his shots in where he can. Oh, the Walnut hitting the elbow drop pin. And my heart stops every time I see that. I just think about the Chicago Cowboy, wherever
every
he is
time.
right now.
Yeah, that was quite a match, and Walnut, that distinctive laugh he's going to be letting us hear all night.
Yeah, I was wondering if you'd make a comment about it.
Yeah, I wasn't looking forward to it. I knew it was going to come this way, but the second swing we've seen tonight.
Damon taking advantage again, back suplex, landing Walnut on that shoulder, and that neck, and that head. Oh, but there it is. One of the deadly just wrenching at the forehead of Damon Sky, spreading his fingers out wide and applying all the pressure he can to the cranium of Damon Sky. Damon pushing him over, getting into the sharpshooter. Maybe a new move from Damon, maybe trying something different on Walnut, something that he couldn't have prepared for by watching the tape.
We're going to see maybe if that's what it's going to take. Walnut is, he's got the protective mask on him, so he's clearly trying to protect something in that head, but Damon's kind of been going after that and with these leg locks, trying to go after those strong legs of his.
Of course, Bobson, he's working those legs, working the body, hitting the neutralizer, going for his biggest moves early. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Damon is trying to end this as soon as he can.
Getting a 2 count on Walnut's nothing to, nothing to brush off this early on.
Headbutts Walnut back in control. That elbow drop pin almost does it for Walnut. My heart stopped. This is an intense wrestling match right here. Oh my God, going for the stomach, just applying a claw to Damon Sky's gut.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Maybe going after that kidney. I mean, there's definitely going to be some lingering pain there for Damon, but he's not going to show it as he gets another swing going in. I think this confusion that he's putting on Walnut, making him a little dizzy, he might not know what to do. You got to be careful. He might not try to take a shot at Earl Dipshit.
Little Northern Light suplex there. Almost gets the win for Damon. We are approaching the 10-minute mark. Walnut going back to that claw. Maybe he's going for a titty twister. I really can't tell. What I can tell is that he has both hands on him, applying all the pressure he can, and I am worried about Damon's health.
Yeah, and Damon's looking like he's going to try to turn this offense around on him, and this has been the longest match so far. It seems like Walnut's singles career anyway, and Damon's going to keep laying into him and prove like there's a reason I'm up for this championship.
Walnut falling to a strike from the head. He is out on his feet here, Bobson. We are seeing Walnut, struggling for the first time in his Slaughterhouse wrestling career.
I can't think of a time we've seen almost a 3 count on him. I mean, you got to think Damon's going to be trying to go for this pin soon. I mean, if you're him putting out all this offense, Walnut's going to not let you do this for long. And there it is.
Oh, blow, cutting Damon off, getting slapped in the back of the head.
Going for the pin. Damon, you got to kick out.
Oh my God.
All it takes is a low blow and a slap to the back of the head for Walnut to remind everyone why he is the Slaughterhouse Wrestling Champion.
Walnut won't let go of the pin, holding on to Damon Sky in the middle of the ring. That is the closest Walnut has ever come to falling. And folks, I don't know what to say. If Damon Sky can't do it, I don't know who is going to crack Walnut.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. He did everything possible, everything right that he could. I feel like if he had maybe tried to get a pin in there after putting all that offense on Walnut, he might have had a chance to go for that pin and take that championship belt off of this madman. But it looks like Damon was more focused on taking a bit more damage out of the man, but you can never let Walnut just keep going. You've got to take your pins when you get the opportunity, and we've seen why. Clearly we just saw why.
I definitely agree with you, Bobson. That is maybe the 4th or 5th move we've seen Walnut in matches with. He can grab your head, he can hit you with that elbow drop, he can ring you out, and now he's slapping people in the back of the head and getting pinfall victories on it. I don't know what that says for anyone who has to prepare for a match against him. But this is just going to be one of the most dominant championship reigns I think we've ever seen.
Yeah, you got that right. And he's, it's one of the most dominant, you're right, but it's also one of the most confusing. I mean, it's not like we can put an asterisk in the record book because he's winning these matches. He's clearly getting the 3 count, but I don't even understand how these guys, I'm not going to volunteer to take a slap to the back of the head from Walnut, I'll tell you that much. But I just, I'm not too sure what it's going to take for someone to beat him. Like, Damon was doing everything possibly right. I think you can. So I'm not too sure, what someone can do, but Walter, what do you think about the pay-per-view? What was your match of the evening, for the whole event?
Oh, I think the show as a whole was amazing. I loved the debuts and the fresh meat matches. Even in the loss, I think the Governor had a great debut as well. But man, the tag team match between Exotic Husbands and Gay Space Cowboys, truly one of the best tag matches I've seen, bar none, and definitely the best tag match I think we've ever seen here in Slaughterhouse Wrestling. If I was rating matches a la a certain newsletter writer, I think I would go a strong 7, maybe an 8 out of 5 on that one. It was incredible.
Yeah, and I think it lived up to all of the hype. I mean, I know we really wanted to focus on Damon Sky's championship contender, but, the Exotic Husbands and the Gay Space Cowboys, there's a reason they've had 3 matches in 3 straight pay-per-views. They are just putting on some of the most amazing matches I think we will ever see in Slaughterhouse Wrestling, and they just keep doing it. Honestly, it's not to take anything away from Supreme because they've done a great job so far, but it feels like that should have been the tag title match right there.
Of course, but when you think about Supreme, they had one of the most dominant wins of their entire career on this show, knocking out Nightmare in his debut, cracking his skull open on that match. And that was a great win for them. That was a great dominant win over their biggest rivals here, Beholden and Horse. But you've also got to think that may have been a message to whoever was going to win that number 1 contenders match. It says, we are going to win by any means necessary. We will pin you, we will submit you, we will end your life just to defend these tag titles. So as beautiful as that tag match was, all 30 minutes of it, and as much as Gay Space Cowboys deserved that win, I would still be worried. I would still be worried about that dominant faction that we are seeing here in Supreme.
Yeah, you've got that right, and also on the same, kind of on a different page, not to go too far off, but the Bankrollers, like, what do you think they do from here? They are still losing matches. They've got one guy out here wrestling week to week. Big Money Marty and Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi haven't been seen. Milkman has completely left, and the Chicago Cowboy literally walked off into the sunset. Where do they go from here, you think?
Well, you just mentioned a name that I was going to bring up, the Chicago Cowboy. We've seen some wins on the board from Ricky Big Bucks Biloxi and Marty. They were in a tag where Black Snow actually won. And really the only member, this is sad to say, but if my records are correct, the only member of the Bankrollers who has actually won a match is the Chicago Cowboy.
I think you're right.
I know he rode off into the sunset. I don't know if he quit Slaughterhouse Wrestling. I don't know where he is. But if the Bankrollers can somehow get in contact with him again and bring him back, I think he is going to be the force that their faction needs to succeed here at the Slaughterhouse.
Yeah, and I think they're definitely going to need him to kind of start turning things around. I mean, I don't know what they can really do otherwise. I mean, he is the muscle of the group. We've seen the other 3 guys left in the faction. They don't really have much direction. Big Money Marty and Ricky Big Bucks can only do so much. They can only plan so much. Without that muscle, it's going to be hard for them. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them try to find a new member of that faction, to be honest with you.
Of course, that's another way you could take it too. They've been really adamant that their faction has been locked down, but that was when they had the Milkman, that was when they had Chicago Cowboy. There's 2 slots open now, and they might be looking for somebody new.
Yeah, you got that right, Walter. And I think this would probably be a good time to bring out your mom's friend Janet. Maybe she can kind of walk us out of here. I kind of don't want to go back there with Behold a Dark Horse dealing with what they're dealing with backstage. So if you want to kind of, talk us out of here, I'm going to try to go find your mom's friend Janet.
Well, folks, thank you so much for joining us here. I'm waving at my mom's friend Janet to kind of come by. I hope that Bobson can find her. But, folks, thank you so much for tuning in to Slaughterhouse 3. Sky's the limit. Thank you for hanging out with us. We hope you enjoyed some of these matches, and we will see you at Slaughterhouse 4. Thanks, folks.